In a split second, a politician comes face to face with a gunman.
I was completely shocked. He suddenly jumped up 3 steps to the podium and had a gun in his hand.
Germany's Human Rights Commissioner Markus Loning travels the world to help shape his country's foreign policy. And on January 19, 2013, Loning is in Sofia, Bulgaria, attending a meeting for a political party called the Movement for Rights and Freedoms. The party represents the country's ethnic Turks and Muslim minority.
There are supposed to be elections around summer in Bulgaria, so it was very important to have this meeting, to be present in national media. It was an event that had big national importance. They are one of the opposition parties in parliament and they hope to be part of the government.
The headline speaker of the event is Ahmed Dogan, the party chairman for nearly a quarter of a century and one of Bulgaria's most influential political figures. He takes the podium for the live televised event where he's expected to announce his retirement and propose his replacement.
Mr. Dogan came to give his speech. I was sitting actually right in front of the place where Mr. Dogan was speaking. I was sitting in the second row.
Dogan is giving his speech when, unexpectedly, an unknown person dressed in black approaches the stage.
I saw this young man walking up to him and I thought, okay, this is probably a technician that has some work to do at the podium. Maybe one of the microphones doesn't work.
Nothing seems out of the ordinary until the man pulls out a weapon and points it directly in the politician's face.
The audience was frozen for a moment when he was pulling out the gun, pointing it at the head, and then he pulled the trigger once, and luckily there was no shot.
It all happens in a flash. Television cameras capture Dogan staring into the barrel of the gun.
Then Mr. Dogan reacted. He sort of pushed the gun away, and I thought it was great. Mr. Dogan is obviously not that young, but he still pushed him away, and then he fell over. And I got a fright because I thought, oh my God, maybe there was a knife involved or something I didn't hear or I didn't see.
Panic grips the audience.
There was a moment of fright, of shock. And then I got up and I felt I was trembling inside because, you know, this was nearly a murder happening just in front of me. The security people were not where they should have been. Normally they should have been in front of the podium, but they were obviously at the side somewhere.
Audience members rushed the stage to protect Dogan, while others tackled the suspect to the ground.
You could see that this guy was obviously a strong guy or a well-trained guy, because even several guys had difficulties to push him to the ground. And then some of these guys started beating on him. One was beating with his fist, another one was kicking at him. This was in a very heated political, emotional situation in this country. People felt that this was an attack against everyone in this room, and the fear on their faces, because none of them in that moment knew what would be the next thing. Who sent this guy? Was it supposed to be the kickoff for something?
The suspect is subdued. His face is bloody from the beating.
One of the major party members showed up on stage and said, "Cool it, you know, don't hurt this man." I don't have any sympathy with him, but, you know, he has also a right to be arrested. He shouldn't be kicked or abused in that way. But the reaction was highly unprofessional.
The attacker is taken to the hospital for his injuries. Dogan escapes unscathed despite his fall.
He was leaving the place. Just by seeing his face, you could see that he was really under shock.
The suspect is identified by police as 25-year-old Oktay Enimehmedov, a member of a small group called I Hate Dogan. Police discover that the suspect is armed with 2 knives and that he had actually not used a gun in the attack, but a gas pistol. It's typically a non-lethal weapon designed to fire tear gas cartridges, but can cause fatal injuries when fired from close range.
At this distance you can see a lot, but you obviously don't see the details of a gun. So to me it looked like a real gun, and everybody took it for a real gun in that moment.
The Bulgarian National Security Service admits that security at the event had been insufficient and fires 2 officers and disciplines 6 others. An investigation into the beating of the suspect is underway. Enimehmedov is charged with attempted murder and violating public order. He has not yet entered a plea, but stated in a court hearing that he did not intend to kill Dogan, but rather to threaten him. Still, he says his only regret is that his pistol misfired.
I believe it's a very important moment to make very clear that violence is something that is absolutely unacceptable in European politics. These kind of attacks are not something that is anywhere in daily life, and as long as I'm a politician I have never seen anything like that.